Namaste. I'm glad that you're here. Let's find a comfortable, easy seat to arrive in for our heart opening practice. Gathering your tools. I think I'll have cues for all of the props today, so I always encourage us to keep them at arm's length. And as you arrive, sit tall, breathe deeply. Our quote today comes from Carl Rogers. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. Allowing yourself a moment to breathe, noticing what's here now, and perhaps exploring that idea of accepting yourself just as you are. Not with an intention of changing, but just an intention of allowing. If you'd like to chant Om, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart, inhaling deeply to create this sacred sound. Release the mudra, and let's explore another mudra. So hooking your thumbs with the right hand on top, and place your hands over your heart space. This is Garuda Mudra, or eagle seal. And if you'd like, you could explore lowering your hands, trying to keep the thumbs clasped, lowering them to the navel or low abdominal area, taking a couple of breaths like this. And then lifting the mudra hands to the center of your torso area, breathing here. The Garuda Mudra is associated with activities of blood flow and circulation. In Ayurveda, they say it invigorates the organs and balances energies on both sides of the body. If you'd like, you can return your hands in the mudra to the heart space. It relates to relaxing and relieving pain associated with upset stomachs, respiratory difficulties, menstrual complaints. It also helps people deal with exhaustion and mood fluctuations. Don't do it for too long if you have untreated high blood pressure. Another breath, Garuda Mudra, eagle seal. And then bring your hands to your shoulders, sitting really tall. Draw your shoulder blades together, lifting your heart. Engage your abdominal muscles. Try to sink your low back so we're not rounding the spine forwards, but keeping the spine long and lifting from the heart. You might look up. You might open your arms out wide. You might bring your arms back in space slightly. Very open expression here. One more breath. And relax your arms down. Return your hands to your shoulders and draw tiny circles. Notice if your circles go like a backstroke or if they're going forwards, just noticing. And let the circles get larger. Let them be as big as they can be. And switch the directions of your circles, starting large and getting smaller. Notice if there's tension in the jaw, you might try to soften that. You might keep your hands where they are. See if you can switch the cross of your legs. Then open your arms out wide again. Palms to the sky. Notice if your ribs are splaying forward, if you're puffing up. Try to keep your spine long. And then look up, lift up, imagining the heart lifting towards the sky. Another big inhale, neutralize your gaze if you looked up. On your exhale, bring your left arm across your body, right hand coming to the elbow area. Let this be a gentle shoulder stretch. This is tending to the rotator cuff. You could draw circles with the left wrist. Maybe you take your head in a gentle circle. And as you're ready, inhale, open up, full wingspan. Exhale, take the other arm across your body, gentle shoulder stretch. Again, you could draw circles with your wrist and your head. Full breaths. And release your arms. Bring your hands back behind you and plant your feet. You might stay just like this. We're going to offer the exploration of reverse tabletop, but this is a lot on the wrists and shoulders, so just see what feels right to you today. Feet about hips distance apart. Imagine your elbows drawing in towards each other, inner elbows hugging in, shoulder blades hugging in, core engaged. Breathe deeply and explore lifting your hips any amount off of the ground. Notice what's happening to your hands. Try to grip with your fingertips. You can also rotate your arms. I'm going to come to soft knuckles. That feels smartest for me. And maybe you lift your hips more and more and more. You can always adjust your stance so that knees stay over ankles, shoulders over wrists. Notice if you're really squeezing your gluteal muscles to lift. See if you can loosen or lighten up on the gluteal muscles while keeping the legs lifted or hips lifted. Lift up out of your chest. You can lower down and return to it as needed. Perhaps you stay and we breathe for 3, 2, 1. Lower down gently. Bring your hands or your arms to your knees, shake your wrists out. You can sit tall or you can let yourself hang heavy, rounding the spine. You might hook your hands, your thumbs or fingers, letting your arms relax and letting your head roll side to side. Loving on yourself after possible intensity of that reverse tabletop. And then you can stay here, taking it easy for a few breaths. You certainly deserve it. Or you can explore reverse tabletop again with the option of reverse plank. So maybe you're coming to soft knuckles like I am. Maybe you have your hands planted. Either way, draw the shoulder blades together and down, lift your heart, engage your core. Remember, you can stay here. This is already work. Or you can lift your hips. Your body does not have to become parallel to the earth. Maybe your hips are just lifting a little bit and you're focusing on lifting up out of your shoulders and chest. Maybe you send your legs long, exploring inclined plane. Depending on your neck, you might drop your head back. You might tuck your chin towards your chest, or maybe you're somewhere in between. Knowing that you're in control, you can always lower down. You have the option of breathing wherever you've gone for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips. Returning your arms to your knees, taking a moment of rest. You can work the wrists out. You can roll the head side to side. And you could take a bath like Toby. And as you're ready, let's make our way to stand on our knees. So it might be a nice idea here to put the folded blanket as a little cushion. We'll be exploring Ardha Mandalasana, the half circle pose. So you might move blocks out to the back sides of you. As you stand on your knees, give yourself a moment, just like we do in Tadasana, to ground down. So this time the knees, the shins, the tops of the feet are our foundation. Anchor down as you engage your core. You could imagine lifting your front hip points as you imagine lengthening your low back. So we have pranic energy on the front body lifting, aponic energy on the back body grounding. On your inhale, reach your arms out and up. Maybe you take a little back bend here. If your shoulders feel tight, keep your arms out wide. Stay for another breath or 2. And then lower your arms, return to neutral. Hands to hips. Engage your core and slowly shift your weight to your right leg. Notice how things might start to wobble, your foundation might shift. With as much control as you can, send your left leg long. Sometimes I wonder how much you can hear my snap, crackle, pop joints. As you arrive, lengthen your low back again. Imagine shifting your pelvis towards your bent knee. Then notice what's going on with your left foot. Try to anchor into all 4 corners, particularly the pinky side edge of your foot. Long spine. As you're ready, reach your arms up. On an exhale, tip over towards your long leg. You can keep your arms lifted if you want a little more work, or you can lower your bottom arm. You could even bend your top arm, placing the hand behind your head. Maybe look up towards your elbow. Parigasana gate pose. Breathe deeply and notice what areas seem to expand as you inhale. And try to keep that expansion as you soften on your exhales. One more breath in gate pose. On an inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, cartwheel your arms over, right hand touching down a bit behind you and off to the side. Press your hips forward, arch your spine, find a nice back bend or heart opener here. Adjust yourself as needed. It's hard sometimes to measure out where we need our blocks or our hands to land. And as you arrive, you might bring your top arm, your left arm, into a helicopter, drawing big circles, exploring the range of motion in your shoulder, stretching the pectoral muscles, strengthening as we go. And for the next breath or 2, whether you're moving or finding stillness, notice your left foot. Make sure we're still intentionally rooting in. Press the hips forward. Maybe you deepen your back bend. And as you're ready, cartwheel your arms up, returning to gate pose. Folding over. Left arm lowering down, perhaps right arm reaching up and over. Inhale. And exhale, return to neutral, standing on both knees. Pause for a moment here. Imagine that you're in mountain pose. Anchor into the parts of you connected to the ground. Lift the crown of your head towards the sky. And hands to hips, shift the weight into your left leg. Notice how things change, and as you're ready, send your right leg long. Toes and hips pointing forward, lengthen your low back, engage the core, lifting the front of the pelvic bowl. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold over towards your long leg, Parigasana gate pose. You could keep the arms up. There's more work involved there, more weight for the torso to carry, or lower your right arm. Again, you could bend the top arm, cradling the back of the head. That might help you press your hips forward a bit, lift your heart a bit, maybe look up towards your left elbow. As we breathe here, notice your foundation, all the parts of you connected to the ground, anchoring down. See if you can lift a little more. Inhale, come up through center, reach. Exhale, cartwheel your arms, finding your way into Ardha Mandalasana, half circle. So now your left hand is grounded, right arm reaching up overhead, big stretch from your right foot to your right fingertips. Press your hips forward, open your heart to the sky. Maybe you draw big circles with the top arm. Keep the connection to your foundation. You might notice both feet in the different ways that they're meeting the earth. Full breaths. As you're ready, big breath in, cartwheel yourself up, transitioning right back into gate pose, staying for a breath or two. And return to neutral. Stand on your knees in our little mountain pose. Staying for another breath or two. Notice if you feel a fullness or an openness through your chest and torso. Some good stretching of our core muscles. All right, let's make our way into tabletop. So you can move the blocks towards the top of the mat if you like them. Keeping the blanket under your knees or setting it aside. In tabletop, foundation of the hands, fingers spread wide, anchor into your fingertips, the inner lines of your hands. Inhale, drop your belly, draw your heart forward, look up. Exhale, round your spine, the back of the heart space lifting towards the sky. Move at your own pace, breathing. Take any movement that feels good. If you like to pass through child's pose or look over your shoulders. And let's all meet in child's pose, Balasana. Bring your arms down by your sides, hands by feet. No worries if the hips are really lifted here. We'll just be here for a couple of breaths and see what you can soften as we focus on breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. You might notice the compression of the belly as you inhale, noticing if that feels comfortable and welcome or if it feels a little claustrophobic. It's okay either way, we're just becoming aware. When you're ready, reach your arms up overhead, walk your fingertips forward, engage your abdominal muscles, sinking your hips back. Really focus on stretching the spine in both directions. And then on an inhale, rise up through tabletop, tuck your toes, exhale into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can pedal your feet or sway your hips. On an inhale, look forward. On an exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Hang heavy here. You might look side to side or slowly nod your head. Yes. On an inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart. If you've got a strap handy, let's grab that. And if you've got a block, squeeze it between your upper thighs. A little bit of standing back bend. With the block between your thighs, we can find a really firm Tadasana mountain pose. Lengthen your low back, lift your front hip points. Strap in both hands. Inhale, reach your arms up. We'll keep the arms lifted as we exhale, anchoring down. As you inhale again, start to explore pressing your hips forward, arching your spine, lifting your arms up, pulling the strap away. Breathing like this. Notice if you go so far that the breath becomes restricted. Happens pretty fast for me, so just explore that and then you might back out a bit. One more breath or so. And as you're ready, slowly lower your arms. Release the props. Inhale, reach out and up, moving slowly. You might press the hips forward, reimagining what we just did. As you exhale, fold forward slowly, soften your knees as you go. Step your right foot way back in space. You could lower the knee or keep it lifted. You can keep your hands on the earth or reach them up. If you reach your arms up, you might interlace your hands. And again, explore the back bend. If you've kept your right knee lifted and wish you hadn't, you can always lower it down. Breathing deeply. When you come to an exhale, release your hands to the earth. Step yourself back into plank for an inhale. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your torso. Pardon me, kitty cat. All the way down. Point your toes back. Lengthen your low back and inhale, lift your chest. Finding baby cobra perhaps, lifting your hands off of the earth, or reach your hands and arms back in space. Maybe your feet float off of the ground. Shalabhasana, locust pose, shoulder blades sliding together and down. Another full breath wherever you've gone. On an exhale, lower down, hands back, fingertips under shoulders, arms hug the side body, tuck your toes. Breathe in, breathe out, push the ground away, plank pose. Inhale, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Staying for a couple of breaths. On an inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or swing the right foot to the right thumb. You can lower your left knee or keep it lifted. Perhaps you can reach your arms up overhead. If so, option to interlace the hands, keeping the elbows open wide. Maybe you find a back bend here. And honestly, just interlacing the hands behind your head is already opening up our chest, balancing us out from all the time we spend on our phones and computers. Couple more breaths. Breathing fully. When you come to an exhale, release your hands back to the earth. Step yourself back to plank once more. Let's see. I need to negotiate space. One more breath in plank. And on your exhale, lower your knees, lower your torso. People who are not cat people probably think this is ridiculous. You can inhale and lift your heart, finding our baby cobra or shalabhasana, or interlace your hands behind your head. Essentially, shalabhasana with the hands interlaced. Makarasana, crocodile pose. Breathe deeply, ride the wave wherever you are taking it. And as you're ready, lower down on an exhale. You can make a pillow for your head with your hands. You could bend both knees and let your legs fall side to side. As you're ready, toes touch down. Bring your fingertips under your shoulders. Arms hug your side body. Inhale. Exhale. Push the ground away. Inhaling. Exhale. Return to downward facing dog just for a breath or two to help lengthen the spine after all that back bending. You could sway the hips side to side. And then as you're ready, we'll inhale, looking forward. Exhale, stepping your feet to meet your hands, bringing your feet out wide, sinking your hips low, and transitioning to your easy seat. Reclining on the spine, arms out wide, making our way to lie on our back. Inhaling here. Exhale, let the legs fall off to the right. So you might just keep the legs bent, let them flop to the side. Maybe you like a deeper spinal twist. You can take that now. We'll be here for about 3 slow breaths. When you're ready, unwind, returning through neutral. Breathing in and breathing out, letting the legs fall to the left. Taking a spinal twist that suits you. A few full, slow breaths. As you're ready, unwind from this twist. Send both legs long, flipping your palms towards the sky. Arms come out a bit away from your body, so there's space. You could think of it as space for energy to flow in your armpit area. And settle in, resting your body, inviting your mind to rest and open up like a clear sky, letting the sounds of the environment, the symphony of life, just float around you. You are here now. You are that big sky. Everything else is just the clouds passing by. If you need to depart before meditation, you can do so at any time. Otherwise, we'll stay in Shavasana for a good rest. Noticing any areas of the body full of sensation and aliveness. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. Notice if you've drifted off with thoughts. And draw yourself back, escorting your awareness to the present moment as I share a poem by Antonio Machado, translated by Robert Bly. Last night, as I was sleeping, I dreamt, marvelous error, that I had a beehive here inside my heart, and the golden bees were making white combs and sweet honey from my old failures. Last night, as I was sleeping, I dreamt, marvelous error, that I had a beehive here inside my heart, and the golden bees were making white combs and sweet honey from my old failures. Invite movement back into your body. And as you're ready, you can slowly make your way back to an easy seat. Savor this slow moving time. There's no rush. And alternately, if you'd rather practice meditation lying down, as long as you feel awake, you are certainly welcome to do that. Breathe deeply and fully. Settling into a comfortable position, allow your eyes to close or keep them open with a softened gaze. Take several long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in fully and exhaling fully. If you can, breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Bring your full attention to noticing each in-breath as it enters your nostrils, travels down to your lungs, and causes your belly to expand. And notice each out-breath as your belly contracts and air moves up through the lungs and back up through the nostrils or mouth. Invite your full attention to flow with your breath. Notice how the inhale is different from the exhale. You may experience the air as cool as it enters your nose and warmer as you exhale. As you turn more deeply inward, begin to let go of noises around you. If you're distracted by sounds in the room or the environment, simply notice them and bring your intention back to your breath. Let it be simple. Just breathe as you breathe, not striving to change anything about your breath. You don't have to control your breath in any way. Observe and accept your experience in this moment without judgment, paying attention to each inhale and exhale. If your mind wanders to thoughts, plans, or problems, simply notice your mind wandering. Watch the thought as you become aware of it as neutrally as possible. And then practice letting go of the thought as if it were a leaf floating down a stream. In your mind, place each thought that arises on a leaf and watch as it floats out of sight down the stream. Then bring your attention back to your breath. Your breath is an anchor you can return to over and over again when you become distracted by thoughts. Notice when your mind has wandered. Observe the type of thoughts that hook or distract you. Noticing is the richest part of learning. With this knowledge, you can strengthen your ability to detach from thoughts and mindfully focus your awareness back on the qualities of your breath. Practice coming home to the breath with your full attention. Watching the gentle rise of your stomach on the in-breath and the relaxing, letting go on the out breath. Allow yourself to be completely with your breath as it flows in and out. You might become distracted by pain or discomfort in the body, or twitching or itching sensations that draw your attention away from the breath. You may also notice feelings arising, perhaps sadness or happiness, frustration or contentment. Acknowledge whatever comes up, including thoughts or stories about your experience. Simply notice where your mind went without judging it or pushing it away, without clinging to it or wishing it were different. And then simply refocus your mind and guide your attention back to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Follow the air all the way in and all the way out. Mindfully be present moment by moment with your breath. When the mind wanders away from the breath, notice without judging and gently guide your awareness back to your breathing. As this practice comes to an end, slowly allow your attention to expand and notice your entire body, and then beyond your body to the room or the space that you are in. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back fully alert and awake. And the breath is always with you as a refocusing tool to bring you back to the present moment. You might set an intention to use this practice throughout the day to help cultivate and strengthen your attention. If you'd like to close with a long Om, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart, sitting tall with dignity. Inhale for your Om. Thank you for sharing your time.